Hi Morgan, my name is Skylar. I just got back into town and I came up to pick up my truck and I noticed it has a boot on it. I was wondering if you could come over and we could get that taken off. Towers 1. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye.
Some people view me as just a guy doing his job, and then some people view me as the enemy of all Rexburg, and that I should be tarred and feathered for what I do.
Yeah, honestly, I've questioned why there's been booting here in Rexburg.
If you absolutely have to boot, make it an affordable price so people aren't starving for paying a boot.
This car was booted because it has an underground pass, but it's parked out here on the surface area of Towers 1.
People are like, oh, booting is the worst, let's get rid of booting, but it's a lot more than that, and it's more complex, I think. So an average day, if you're on patrol during the day, there are certain complexes that will have you come and check their permit parking during the day. Here they got the bumper passes, so you're just looking at everyone's bumper to make sure they got these passes. And you know, we've done enough times to where like you recognize the passes really quick. Let's say you're booting a car and you believe that they're parked in permit parking without a permit. First thing you do, obviously, is you need to check the car and make sure that they don't have a pass. So a lot of times they'll have visitor passes, or maybe their pass is hidden, or they put it in a weird spot. Next thing is you get a boot, you put the boot on, and you have to put a sticker on their driver's window with the time, the reason why they're booted. Obviously the sticker has all of our information as well. And then after you do that, you take pictures, and then the whole time that you're doing that, we add a body camera on.
If with people we take the boots off, if they become at all really hostile to us, we have the camera for backup.
We need to get all the evidence that we did our job correctly.
So this is where I got booted one of the times. As you can see here, the signs aren't in the middle row. If you look, they're there facing the whole entire row. But does that mean this entire row and that entire row of parking stalls are visitor parking? Or does it mean just those two spots are visitor parking? The booters had previously told me it's only in front of the sign where you can park. But you can see here, the signs are on the side. So technically, nowhere is in front of the sign unless it's the whole strip. And I was coming up to my car and the booters were out with a boot getting ready to put it on my car when I stopped them and told them, this is my car, I'm about to leave.
This is one of the cheaper housings. Like, for the price and stuff, it's cheaper. And to be charging that high, I had to forego like buying groceries and had to wait till next week.
I get, for some people, $70 or $50 or whatever you have to pay is tough, and it can be really trying during that time. But in a month, like, you're not gonna miss that $70. Like, for a lot of people, I think it's just in the moment you're really angry, and I think a lot of times people will make a bigger deal out of it than it really needs to be.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, you probably feel good about this.
The reason that there is booting to begin with is because complexes have to enforce curfew. And the way that they enforce curfew is through booting. The reason they have to enforce curfew is because the school says they do. And if you don't enforce curfew, then the school, if they find out, they could take away your approved housing permit, whatever, and they wouldn't be able to have students stay at their complex.
Even if students are at their friend's apartment, as long as they're parked legally, that's not truly solving the we need to enforce curfew.
I think ticketing would probably be better because they are allowed to use their car in the process, and like if they don't have the money, they can earn that money and then pay the ticket.
I mean, I wish that like ticketing was a thing, but there's just no way for us to reasonably enforce it afterwards.
In my opinion, I think several different things could be done to change booting. I think if City of Rexburg took the time to realize the option of taking in more revenue to fix the roads, to do whatever they want with it, that they could hire students to enforce parking by issuing fines instead of boots.
To be honest, I wasn't surprised because it's Rexburg and everyone gets booted because there's not enough parking anywhere. Always a little disappointed in it, but you know, it's something I've come to expect. And places only have 2 to 3 visitor parking spots and there's nowhere else to go. And so if you have to drive in from a far ways, you're just kind of stuck up with the risk of getting a boot every time.